One of the biggest AI flops as of current was the Humane AI Pin, which was supposed to be this really revolutionary wearable AI device, which, well, it didn't really perform as well as expected, and now it's discontinued. Furthermore, it's not only discontinued, but they're being sold to HP, of all people. It's a really interesting story, so we're going to go ahead and cover some of the history behind it and what's happening to them now. Okay, so we're going to start off by talking about the recent acquisition of Humane by HP of all people. So, this is an article from The Verge. HP is acquiring the Humane AI platform and the team for $116 million. Now, that is admittedly quite a far cry from what Humane was expecting from investors because in May last year, they were they were exploring a potential sale, and their price was 750 million to 1 billion dollars. So 116 million, while it is a lot, it's definitely a far cry from what they were after. Now, they are selling most of its company to HP for the set amount and will stop selling the AI pin. And the pins that have already been purchased will continue to function normally until 3 p.m. Eastern Time on February 28th, wherein they effectively become bricks that can't do anything. They can't call, message, they can't do AI queries, no more notes, offline features like battery level. What an amazing feature, am I right? Yeah, battery level. Apparently things like that will still work, but the main thing you bought the product for, it's just not going to do it anymore. So, that's fun. So if you own that product, that's, yeah, and they'll apparently only offer refunds on pins that are within the 90-day return window from their original shipment date. According to an FAQ about the shutdown, refunds must be submitted by February 27th, 2025, and if you've paid for a subscription past February 28th, they will process a refund for that as well. And if you had also been waiting for a replacement charging case following its recall of the cases, you will also receive a refund for that as well. So, that's very interesting. I'm sure there's some people who are definitely not going to be super happy about the fact that these devices that effectively can't do anything without the Humane servers are going to effectively be bricks, and Humane isn't going to necessarily offer refunds for those devices. It's definitely eh, interesting, I'll say that much. I'm sure some people aren't exactly going to be too thrilled about that. Now, HP is buying the Humane AI Pin's operating system and its technical staff, and HP will be getting more than 300 different patents and patent applications. The main reason HP is getting this is for a new division called HP IQ, which is going to be HP's AI innovation lab so that they can help integrate AI into the HP computers, printers, and conference room equipment. So, as to what we're going to see from that, I'm not sure, but if and this is somewhat opinion, but HP, outside of the enterprise space, the more consumer grade HP products aren't necessarily what I'd call innovative. So, Humane as a like an innovative AI company has kind of, yeah, it's not really gonna exist anymore. And even then, as to whether or not they were truly innovative or in groundbreaking is kind of iffy, because their concept was certainly interesting. If you don't already know what the AI pin was, it was supposed to be this thing that you would, well, wear on yourself as a pin, and it would have a little projector that you use hand gestures to and control, as well as tapping on the pin itself. And it would have a projector that you would just use on your hand, which was a very interesting design concept. But as to whether or not people really liked it, nobody really liked it. It was a cool concept, but a cool concept doesn't always mean it's necessarily practical. I personally wouldn't necessarily want to hold up my hand to read my text message from my pin. Like that's a little weird. So I can kind of see why it didn't sell well on the UX front. On the actual functionality front, um, reviewers just absolutely despised it, namely because it just failed in certain things. Sometimes phone calls and text messages just wouldn't really work. There was other things that just didn't function as well. Sometimes AI responses would take a really, really long time, and you also had to pay for a subscription for all of this. It was $699 for the device and a $24 monthly subscription. And yeah, no, I can understand where people were coming from. It was really overpriced for what it was. The UX was kind of convoluted, and UX is short for user experience. The actual experience you'd have with using the device was kind of convoluted and difficult to use. And on top of all that, its main functionality barely worked and had a multitude of issues. So I can see why they needed to sell. And furthermore, not only that, but their daily returns were outpacing the sales. When your customers are returning the product more than you are selling the product, that's when you know you've done something very wrong and you need to reevaluate your position. The fact that they haven't even been able to like get the get more products out than they were receiving back is just it's really bad. Furthermore, at least as of August 7th, 2024, the total sales of all the pins and accessories was 10,000. That's not a lot, especially for the fact that they were trying to evaluate themselves so high back in May because they were looking to be sold for about 750 million to 1 billion. And it's, to me anyways, it is a little amazing that they even got the 116 million that they got from HP. So, yeah, basically, I'm sorry if you still bought the product and can't return it because not only did it not work in the first place, but it's certainly not going to work now because it's a paperweight now because they're not even supporting the product anymore. I'm sure somebody's probably going to get upset enough to try and sue. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I'm honestly surprised they haven't even filed for bankruptcy or something because they spent a lot of money building the product and for a really long time too because Humane as a company existed all the way back in 2018. They only emerged back in 2021 as a company, but they've existed for a really long time. So clearly there's a lot of capital that went into developing the product, and it's very interesting to me that it just it just completely fell flat on its face. And this has just kind of been a trend with AI devices. I feel like there needs to be something truly innovating for there to be a need for an AI device because everybody has smartphones, everybody has smartwatches. AI can just run on there. It's it's a tough market, and a lot of people have tried to break ground in this kind of a market and have failed, either in user experience or actual functionality of the product. A lot of the wearable AI devices I've seen have either just sucked to use or barely did the job it was advertised to do so. Like, it's a weird market that's never really been like successful. Everybody that's tried to get into the market has kind of failed. And those who are trying to get into the market are immediately faced with skepticism, seeing as that the likes of Humane and the other companies like Rabbit R1 have faced where their products just don't perform well at all. So, I don't know. It's interesting. Um, I feel sorry if you have one of these products. I would try to get a refund from them if you can, because they kind of just completely killed it. It's not functional at all, and yeah, it's interesting. Again, like I said, the AI device market, like a device specifically made for artificial intelligence, like an AI wearable or something you hold and you have in your pocket or whatever, like those kind of devices, I just like I kind of get the reason why some people were trying it, but it just doesn't seem to work because why have a separate device on you when you have your phone? You know? It doesn't really make sense to me anyways as a market because it makes more sense to make competitive really well done AI applications for smartphones than it is to make a specific wearable for AI, at least to me. That's just the way I look at it. Well, anyways, that's it for today's video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below, because I think it was like one of the biggest AI flops as of current. Take care, you guys, and stay safe out there.